Yes, people, it's me, Miss Tarina Star. Today's vlog, I just want to talk about just the past Christmas and what I have been up to. Basically, I saw St. Andrew's Cross, like in the sky. Yes, I did. I saw it in the sky twice, 2 days in a row. And in the beginning of Christmas, I go to my favorite cafe and I overheard the owner saying his child was going to go and have the biggest operation of her life in Turkey. That's where people go for surgery. Like, they have one of the best surgeons in Turkey. But it was quite interesting because I heard him talk about it. It's very big. His child had a very big up and coming surgery, and like his customers were really worried. And then I just felt so sad for him because it's the end of like it's leading up to the Christmas holidays. Everybody is getting ready for Christmas break, being with their families, and he's going with his family to have the biggest operation for his child. Like, I just felt so sad for him. So you can tell he was like in a zone. He was nervous, and he was openly asking his customers, for like telling them. But obviously, I just felt really sad for him, as he's a local in the community. His cafe's been around for years. So I just felt it in my soul to do something about it. And I went to my local church that was literally across the road. And yeah, I said I had to do a little prayer. So I did a little prayer for him, like for his daughter. And then I said, you know what? Because I know that the clergy sort of know him. I've seen a couple of his priests there. So I said to the priest, like, this is what's happening. So and so's across the road. He's flying out in 2 days for the biggest operation. Could you possibly go in and wish him well, pray for him or something? And the priest was so friendly. They were like, yeah, sure. So at least I felt good that I let them know this is what's up. And if they decide to go there, he's not of the faith. He's clearly not of the faith, but I just felt like at this very crucial moment, it's not even about him being a different faith, but let's just, pray for him, sort of thing. And also, I have said that we Christians need to start evangelizing. Like, we need to start evangelizing. And I think this person is such a good person. He should be, we should do everything we can to try and make him Christian, but not like in a pushy way. But I think personally, like, he embraced it. He embraced well, anyway, that's the last I heard of it. But I just thought, I suppose we could try and evangelize this way. But anyhow, the past 2 weeks has been like the longest Christmas holidays ever. Okay, it just dragged. Let's just say dragged. So towards the end of the Christmas holiday, I'm getting signs up in the sky. First time I saw it, I saw the St. Andrew's cross, because the church where I happened to have prayed is the St. Andrew's. So I saw the cross and I was like, okay, perfect St. Andrew's sign in the sky. And then some guy was walking past and I said, oh, are you Scottish? He's like, no. So what's that doing up in the sky there? I can see the St. Andrew's sign. Like, I know they're chemtrails or whatever, but isn't it just ironic that I saw the St. Andrew's cross? Like, the most perfect looking St. Andrew's cross, like, do you know what I mean? And then I thought nothing of it. I thought, oh, okay, maybe something's happening in Scotland. But I actually completely forgot about the prayer I did for, the guy that has the restaurant and the sick child. because with the whole Christmas holidays, the lights, oh my God, the distraction, the movies, the lights, Santa, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it was just really hectic. So I completely forgot about that. The next day, the same sign comes up in the sky, St. Andrew's Cross. And then I started researching St. Andrew's, like, oh my God, who's this? Oh, one of the apostles. And then I started researching more. Um, he was like one of the founders of the Russian church in Kiev. He preached there. He preached in, where's that place? Turkey, with St. John. He's also the brother of, St. Andrew is the brother of Peter. The cockerel went 3 times, made that noise 3 times, and Peter denied Jesus 3 times. But the only difference is Peter apologized to Jesus. But yeah, that's his brother. The older brother is Andrew. And Andrew was a fisherman from Galilee. Just researched about him and stuff. And then it clicked. I said, oh yeah, I did a prayer. So maybe this is a sign from St. Andrew that the operation went well or something. I don't know. But anyway, because the operation was just such a massive operation, I dreaded going near the restaurant during the Christmas holiday because I don't want to hear bad news. Like I just want her to feel good. So everything's all back and normal now. So Christmas holiday's done. So I must have gone there yesterday. I thought, oh, I want to have my lunch, and I said, oh. And then I remembered. I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen the owner since he went off to have his big operation. And then I must have gone in, and he was looking quite happy and cheerful. And I said, oh, how did it go? Is everything okay? Yes, it went well. Oh my God. And then he told me all about it, how nervous he was and how he cried. And it was just I was so happy to hear that his daughter was doing well and stuff. And then I told him, oh, you know what? I prayed for you. And then he's like, oh, thank you. He got so many prayers from people, different religions are praying for him. He's just so overwhelmed. But then I told him, did the priests come? And he said, yeah, the priests came and they prayed here. I was like, oh, good. That's so nice of them. And he was so touched. He's like, thank you for praying for my child, blah, blah, blah. And obviously the priest's prayer, I'm sure he was very, he was very welcoming towards it. And I was like, oh, I'm just so happy. It's just so nice. So I don't know, maybe the signs were St. Andrew telling me that the operation went well, because it was a very, very serious operation. Like, wow, like it wasn't even no simple operation. It was very high risk. I mean, the only way they could do it was to leave the country and do it. Like, it doesn't exist here. The only person who could do it is that particular surgeon. It's such a risky. And that's probably why he embraced all the prayers and the priest coming in. And no doubt the priest coming in and doing a prayer for him, he really appreciated before he flew out. But it's still very worrying, what he went through. I feel like he's such a strong person. I just, wished him well. I said, oh, it's such nice, happy news to know that, this child is recovered and has gone back to school. While everybody was enjoying their Christmas holidays, they had to deal with that and recover like 14 days in a hospital, like in a hotel. And they're just so relieved. But can you imagine the shock? Like, my God, what they've been through. Well, I really hope, it's amazing. And the signs I saw as well afterwards, and I just think God is great. And St. Andrews is great. And I'm just so happy that it turned out well for him.